what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. We are out here on the B is for Boat. The boat that I bought on a whim like 4 or 5 years ago. And then we blew up the motors going out to the ocean. And then we engine swapped it. And then on my birthday this last year, it sank to the bottom of this here marina. And then we got it back out of the water. And in the last episode, we took it out on a test drive, but that was definitely not boating season. And now the 4th of July is right around the corner. We want to get this thing fully restored back to its original glory, get everything all buttoned up so we can take friends out on it for the 4th of July. It means we got a lot of doing because right now it doesn't run anymore. Let's get to work. So I mentioned that this boat is no longer starting, and neither of these engines will start. They both have the same problem. It seems like over time, the corrosion from them sinking got into the starters and damaged the starters, and they're just not wanting to engage. The solenoid is clicking, but it's just not wanting to actually fire up the starter to then, you know, turn over the engine. So we're gonna go ahead and change out both of these starters. We've got some more marine starters. These are starters off of a Volvo Penta, so they're like really easy to source. I was able to get 2 of them in a day, so that's a good thing. But we're gonna go ahead and swap out both of the starters on both of these engines so we have fresh ones. Swapping out a starter is a pretty self-explanatory thing. There's going to be 2 wires on the back. One is the signal wire that tells the starter to start, and the other is the wire that provides the power to the starter. It uses a lot of power to turn over your engine, so it's a really low gauge wire, which means it's going to be a big thick boy. The number one thing you're going to want to remember when you're doing this job is to unplug your battery, because once that heavy duty cable comes off the back of your starter, pretty much everything else around it is a ground, and if you touch those, you're going to get a little fireworks before the 4th of July. Alrighty, we've got 2 new starters. Both the engines are cranking nicely. Let's go boating, do a little testy test, make sure our powertrain is still operating like we expect. I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Auto Bidmaster. At Auto Bidmaster, you can bid and buy auction vehicles, anything from cars, trucks, motorhome, motorcycles, and boats. You guys know I've had a long career of buying auction vehicles, and Auto Bidmaster is where I buy my vehicles through. I bought my GTR there, my Porsche Cayenne, my Bentley Continental, all 4 of my last Teslas, and the last supercar I purchased that you haven't seen yet. Bought them all on Auto Bidmaster. So if that's not an endorsement enough, I don't know what is. But while I show you an example of how easy it is to search for your next Mustang on Auto Bidmaster, I'll tell you a few things about their company. So they've been in business for over 15 years, helping the public buy vehicles from auto auctions without a license. So you don't have to worry about that. They have excellent customer service. I'm actually friends with some of their customer service people over there, and they are actually multilingual as well. The one thing I love is they have 4 different membership options that are designed to help users at each different price point. And the way that they give you complete control over the auction, you can bid yourself and have complete control of the auction process from your own personalized account. And you get all that, and then you don't have to worry at all about the documentation and the management of that. They deliver it right to you. Check out the prices on these Mustangs I found. It's a little bit addicting, and that's why I am where I am right now. I think I have 40 cars, but this is how I buy them. This is how I get the great deals. It's Auto Bidmaster. It's a company I'm so happy to have sponsor this channel because it's something I truly believe in and I use all the time. So guys, help yourself and help the channel by going and signing up using my link at the top of the description. And when you sign up, you will get a $50 discount for signing up. So hit that link at the top of the description, claim your $50 discount right now. Huge thanks to Auto Bidmaster for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to it. We made it from there to here. We're doing really good. Actually, everything is cruising right along. We just realized we hadn't checked the oil, and we want to make sure that we're checking the oil and doing everything we can to make sure that we keep everything happy. So that is going well. Holley sent us out brand new screens. Let me show you how good these things look. I'm gonna power them both on. Brand new screens for our setup. These are their 12.3 inch Pro Dashes. I installed them a little bit earlier, and I can get so much great information on here. I got my oil pressure, battery, fuel pressure, water temperature. I got my closed loop compensation for tuning, air fuel ratios, everything that we want. RPM real big right here. Everything that we want is on these screens. Huge thanks to Holley for being a huge supporter on our boat. We have 2 of their HP ECUs, 1 running each engine, 1 screen managing each engine. This whole boat is powered by Holley. We've got their Sniper EFI dual plenum intakes, tons of great Holley products, but I just want to thank them so much for helping us get back on the water and being able to monitor our boat safely. It was a big deal to us to do this engine swap and make sure that we could monitor every single thing that was running on this boat by using their awesome displays. So huge thanks to Holley for sending these out. There's going to be a link in the description. We appreciate you so much. we're gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of boating. I think the plan is to just cruise around on the river for about an hour. And this is basically just to keep working in the engines, make sure that, you know, before the 4th of July, I don't want to have an embarrassing moment where I get my friends out on the boat and, you know, stuff might not work as good. So we're gonna try and test it right now. Starters are working great. I'm stoked on that. The starting buttons kind of suck, so I ordered some new ones. The screens are working amazingly, so that's so cool. I think I'm pretty sure I can actually tune through those screens. So like using those screens, you can actually tune the ECUs. So I'm gonna try that a little bit later. Boating experience was A+. We're gonna take it out one more time before the 4th of July, just to, you know, feel really comfortable having people on here. That's good. But we got to take a lot of stuff off and take it back to the shop. Just stuff that has not done well sinking. Flap door, upholsterless steering wheel, cabinet doors. Call this the bedroom bed headboard? Yeah, that's a headboard. All right, we got the goods off the boat. We're back at the shop, and boy, our to-do list is looking long. We've got a lot of kind of seemingly random things that we need to do. Here at Bees for Build, a lot of what we like to do is, you know, we try things, and then when we make mistakes or things come up short or whatever, we want to show you how that went. And I think this is a really good example right off the bat. This piece right here was a rear hatch that we made, and we did a few mistakes on it. We made a few mistakes on it. First is we needed a thin top piece. It's like a little over 1/4 inch, and they don't make that in marine grade plywood, so we tried using other plywood. Then secondly, we didn't fiberglass over it or do anything to really seal it out from the elements. Thirdly, we put some texture stuff on there to try and texture it like the previous one was, and then that stopped the paint from being able to really adhere very well, and it just started flaking off pretty much instantly. So this was a pretty instant fail. Doesn't even really have much to do with the fact that the boat sank. It was just never gonna work. So we're gonna do this over again the right way. We're gonna make the door a little bit thicker because marine grade plywood where we're at, the smallest we can find is a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna make this part 1/2 inch instead of 1/4 inch, which really won't change anything. I don't think anybody will ever notice. We're gonna still use the backer because this is marine grade plywood and you can see how well it actually held up. And oddly enough, the paint all stuck to it, but we're gonna use the backer. We're gonna use the 1/2 inch here. We're gonna remake this piece, and then we can work on the sealing it factor that we're gonna do with fiberglass and resin. Oscar's almost to the point where we're gonna be letting this thing dry and set up. He's got the resin on, fiberglass on the front side, and he's got peel ply, and peel ply is a nice little hack. It'll help keep your surface really nice and smooth, and it also comes back off the fiberglass. And he's got the second layer of fiberglass for the backside, kind of wrapping back down on the face here. So that's really cool. Now, these guys right here, Fiberglass Coatings Incorporated, are the people that provided all of the resin, fiberglass, peel ply, all the stuff we need. We're stealing it from the supplies that they sent us for this thing and also for building cars in the future. So Fiberglass Coatings is our official composite sponsor. They've hooked us up, like there's so much stuff here for us to work with. For instance, the fiberglass that we're working with, the resin that we're working with right here, it's a super infusion epoxy resin, and we're using a pretty standard fiberglass weave. Now these guys are super cool. I actually went out, when I was in Florida, I went out and visited their factory and did a tour. They've got an amazing setup, and you're gonna be seeing us use a ton of their products moving forward between our pontoon boat build, and as well, when we switch over to building composite car parts, a lot of our plans moving forward have us 3D printing parts and then basically popping them out in fiberglass or carbon fiber or whatever it may be. And they are the people that are crazy enough to sponsor and provide us with all the products to make that possible and make that happen for us. So it's a huge deal. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Huge thanks to them for supplying us with the products to get through fixing up this build, and wait till you see what we have coming. It's pretty epic. So Oscar's finishing that off. We are moving into carpet land. Kyle's moving into carpet land. That's the carpet for the bedroom. That's the carpet that was in the main room, and this is the carpet for the steps. All got toasted in the flood. We ran out to Home Depot, got some new carpet right there. We've got some backing padding. It's really, really simple process to get this kind of stuff back in here. first thing out is we use this as a template, and then we cut the shape out of the brand new carpet, then we'll roll it up and then throw it back on the boat. It's very, very, very simple process, which is good. That's how I like things. So I can break them and not worry about it. All right, Oscar's got that thing cocooned up and cooking. We're gonna let that sit for a while. We're gonna jump into our tabletop over here. So we made this tabletop before this last trip that we took on the boat. Very, very happy with the tabletop, but unfortunately, it got used as a base for a water pump. The team that was pulling out the boat out of the water was much more focused on just getting the boat out of the water than keeping anything in any sort of condition. So unfortunately, it got pretty scratched, but I have a feeling that these will buff out. It's not the most extensive it'll buff out type of situation we've ever seen, so I want to give it a try. I want to see if it'll buff out. I got some heavy cutting compound, a buffing pad. I'm going to go to work on this thing and we'll see what happens. It won't buff out. Yeah, we answered the question. It'll buff out. No, it won't. Gonna try sandpaper next. So the thing about epoxy tabletopping and clear coating and stuff like that is you can sand in this, it'll get really, really foggy looking. We should be able to sand all the way down into these scuffs. And then we could clear coat over it again, or you could sand it all the way out and buff it up. I'm not sure which we'll do, but gonna give it a try. In the end, I decided to just sand my way up. So I used a 220, then I used a 320, then I used a 400, then I used a 600, and I used a 1000. In retrospect, what I would have done if I had more time is get some clear coat on this thing instead. You can stop at a lower grit sandpaper, say 320, and then you can hit it with a clear coat. If you don't have a paint gun or anything like that, most auto body stores now have a 2K clear coat in a can that you can buy, and give it a good coat with that. I think you're gonna have a better surface overall in the end by adding another layer of clear coat rather than sanding and polishing your way back to a finish. All right, tabletop came out pretty dang good. I got a lot of smudges on there. I think that's from the last layer of polish that I used on it. So I'm not stoked about that, but we'll just give it a like overnight to dry and then clean it off. But I'm pretty happy with the glossiness that we got back out of it and the look of it. It's pretty damn good restoration. No more scratch marks or anything. You can see the Riva logo is sharp. So pretty happy about it. Like you saw in the video, it was just sand, then higher grit, and then a high cut polish, and then, or high cut compound, and then a polish. And it's shiny again. Kyle's got all the carpets cut and the paddings cut. It's so weird to be like taking pieces from one boat and resting them on the other boat, but whatever. That's the carpet ready to roll. We've got some more carpet pieces that we're gonna cut tomorrow morning before we head out to the boat, but that's the majority of it done. All right guys, this is the next day. We're focusing on this very, very time consuming back hatch. You can see that we got a really, really nice smooth finish by putting that peel ply on the backing of this. So that was really cool. Oscar's gonna give that a sand up, clean up the edges. They are like little spiky razor blades. And then clean up this backside, hole punch out this so we can get our little metal grommet back in there, and then it's gonna get a coat of paint. All right, old bad door, good new door, drying up, moving on. I think one really valuable thing we can focus on today is getting the bedroom dialed in. So these are the miscellaneous pieces of carpet that go around the bed. And we tried power washing them. We tried using a carpet cleaner on them, and we tried to put them in a actual just, you know, clothing washing machine and stuff. And they just really couldn't clean up nice enough. So we're gonna go ahead and recut all of these pieces as well as soon as Kyle gets in. And then there are these headboard things that I pointed out earlier They are just padded pieces of wood, and they've got this fabric on them, and it's just browned a little bit on the top. This is probably more from just sunburning rather than the boat sinking, but regardless, we're doing a good restoration here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this fabric off. There's just a million staples. Pull the fabric off. I went and bought some new fabric. We're gonna do a little color change. These are gonna be black, and I'll put the new fabric on and staple it on there. So we can see that's the old upholstery off and the new on. This is a little bit of an intimidating job. I was not sure how it turned out. It actually turned out really, really good. I'm really happy, even getting those curves in there without any wrinkles. Super cool. I think it's gonna look great on the boat. So this is me trying to inspire anybody that's a little scared to do upholstery. Some staples, just treat it a lot like vinyl wrap. Just stretch out your triangles and stuff. And having a little bit of padding gives you a lot of freedom underneath as well. This was fun. Got these all ready to head back to the boat. What's next? So the original mattresses on the boat came in a 2-piece configuration. Not really sure why it was 2-piece, and they sank with the boat. Obviously not something that can be restored. We got these from Helix actually before the boat sank. I don't know why exactly we're planning on replacing them. I think I had slept on these a few times and thought we could do better. And we did do better. Now, obviously, this shape isn't the same as this shape. And these Helix mattresses are made out of dense cell foam. Pretty sure that's what it's called. It's really small cell foam. And they are cuttable. I know, because that's how we made the other cushions on the boat. So, the best thing that I found for cutting these is a tool that I lost. How could you lose anything in here? That's crazy. Aha! I found it! Turkey carver. These things work great for cutting this type of foam. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is probably very gently lay these mattresses over that mattress, kind of marker out a line of where we need to cut, and then we'll peel back some of the covering on this and slice it up. Oscar is a premier turkey carver. I would definitely call him over to your Thanksgiving if you need a coffin-shaped turkey. This came out great. I'm super, super happy about this. We're gonna get sheets a little bit later today, so that's awesome. All right, next up on the list is an interesting one. So we've got these cabinet doors, and they've got this wood veneer that you see a lot in the boat, and after it sank, the clear coat just left the veneer here. You can see it just coming off, and it looks really bad. This clear coat is extremely tough. Underneath it, what you get is these like stain lines that went into the veneer, where the veneer is kind of not doing well either, or didn't do well. So I think what we've decided that we're gonna do here is try out some veneer paint. So this is countertop paint meant for going onto Formica, which is what this is. This is Formica right here. So we're gonna sand this down, and then we're going to get it all nice and cleaned up, and then we're gonna go ahead and paint the outside part with this. This is kind of a test run that we're doing on these outer pieces to see how we like it, see how it looks. If it looks really good, we may do it to the whole rest of the boat, because we've got wood in different shades because of sun burning and now because of water damage. So if we can get a good finish with something like this, that's going to be nice and strong, because it is meant for countertops, so it'll be super durable. That could be a good result. So we're going to go ahead and give it a try. We've got a pretty close match to the actual color of the wood right there, and I think it's going to look good. So we're going to go ahead and sand all of these cabinet doors up and give them a coat of paint. We got a mirror thing. This is a little bonus project. So you can see there's some of these weird rings Those aren't just a dirty glass. Those are underneath the glass. They're built in. And I figured, you know what, there's probably a cheap way to fix this. And, well, we're gonna see if I'm right. This goes above like the headboard in the bedroom. Kind of gives the boat's bedroom a feeling of more space, I think. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got the thing that we use to cut out windshields, car windshields here. It's one of these guys with a little bit of wire. I'm gonna sneak it underneath here. And you run it back and forth. It's like a sawing motion. I'm gonna saw this glass off, and I'm gonna try and clean the surface up. Then I'm gonna see if I can run down to IKEA and get some really, really cheap replacement glass in mirror form. That was a really hard way to get a piece of wood with some mounting things in the back, I will say. But it's off of there. Liquid nails, hardcore stuff. Really, really hardcore stuff. We really couldn't cut through it very well. It was hard to get off. So we took a lunch break. We got food. We got bedding for the new mattress. It's already packed up. And we got mirror glass. We got a mirror, and obviously it's made mostly of glass. We think the measurements are gonna be right. We gotta pop the frame off, so we're gonna go ahead and pop the frame off of this thing and compare it to our backing board and see if we're gonna make it work. Okay, we got our new mirror glass out of the mirror, and I flubbed it. I made a mistake. This was cheap, and the next step up was like almost $100 more or something. So what happened was we're about a ½ inch, you can see, shallow from being the full width of this wood. So sorry, cameras have a really hard time knowing what it's focusing on. It wants to look at the ceiling. That's what our ceiling looks like. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and take, we're just gonna use the circular saw, cut a ½ inch off of this so the mirror will cover the full distance. Then we'll use our glass cutter, we'll score the mirror. We'll get a nice, and then we're gonna score it, and then we'll wet sand it with like, I don't know, 400 grit sandpaper or something. We'll wet sand the edge so we have a nice kind of safe edge. And then just like the people before us, we'll liquid nails the hell out of it and put it back on this board. All right, time to hit it with the liquid nails. Now, we think that the old mirror had problems in the middle because of maybe the wood separated or something, not separated, but maybe warped or got a bend to it or whatever. Put a lot of pressure right there in the middle and might have popped the middle off. Not 100% sure on that one, but it's a theory. So we're just gonna run a bead on the outside this time because whatever they had on there was like 100 times stronger than what you need to hold it on there. So we're gonna run a bead of liquid nails on the outside, smash our mirror into there, give it a smash smush, let it dry overnight, and it should be good. Kyle's at the point where he is peeling up the tape on these cabinet doors. I really like how the paint job came out. I think it's really good. The color is not nearly as dark as it's advertised, but oh well. It might really clash within here, but what we did learn is that it's a good quality, really thick paint that looks really protective and has a nice high gloss. So I think that's gonna be a really good candidate to use on the boat. Last thing that we gotta do, we are cleaning things up. We're getting ready to ship all this stuff out there. Last thing we gotta do is some of these pieces, like you can see we got a scratch through here. This for some reason didn't fare well. None of this stuff was stained by us originally. This was a IKEA stain. This is IKEA and stain. This did a lot better actually. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come through with our stain and touch it up a little bit. And then once it dries, it's ready to roll. And we get all this out to the boat and start applying our hard work. All right, we're out here on the boat. We're gonna start cleaning. That's the first thing, pretty boring. We're not even gonna film it. We're just gonna get everything cleaned up. We're power washing the outside of the boat and the top side and stuff like that, so it looks nice. I'm gonna go ahead and clean out any dust or debris or anything that's left in the bedroom. Kyle's gonna work on the main area, main part of the cabin, cleaning that up. Once we get that clean, then we can start showing you our upgrades being put into practice. Also, yes, there's very annoying music. They're doing a sound check for the Portland Blues Festival goes on during 4th of July weekend, so sorry we gotta deal with that, but part of the season. Bedroom cleaning session is done. Everything is nice and clean and ready in here for stuff to come back. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a couple things. So we've got the boards that we did. Those aren't really headboards. I don't know what to call them, but anyways, the baseboards. We've got the mirror that goes right there, the mattress that goes right here, and then I'll start throwing down some of that bedding on the mattress as well. We'll get all that set up and then we can move on to carpet. All right, well, we went and got all this stuff. What we didn't really think about was the fact that that's why the mattresses were cut into 2 pieces, because that hole, yeah, this is gonna be challenging. Film from the inside, it'll be like watching childbirth in reverse. Whew. Don't know how we did that, but we did it, and it fits awesome. I'm gonna get the mirror in here next. These things, get the sheets on here, start to get that tidied up. All right, guys, now I've got 2 black pillows and pillowcases coming that are gonna kind of break those colors up, but other than that, that is this thing wrapped as far as a new bed, new bedding, reupholstered headboards. So glad we redid that whole mirror so you could see 6 inches of it. Now it's time to move on to the carpet flooring. It's pretty simple, it's all cut into shape already, so we're just gonna be really just placing it and Velcroing it down. Okay, we are carpeted. There's a little bit of touch-up work to be done with some Velcro, but I left that up at the truck. So between that and the extra different pillows and stuff, I'll show you the end result tomorrow before the 4th. Moving on. Don't want to move on into here because that's a lot more stuff to clean. Let's go in here. Let's move on to this hole. So this is a pretty fun hole. Stereo was up here. This stereo was designed to basically be always on based on the boat power. So we wanted to put a switch. So we bought this little switch right here, and then we had to delete that faceplate. We also found that there was 12-volt power back there. That was pretty good. So what I did was I went on Amazon and bought 2 of these. They're basically USB bulkheads. Then I 3D printed just this flat faceplate that has a spot for each one of these things. And then we've got our switch right here as well. So that'll allow us to turn on and off the stereo with a switch so we don't have any battery draw. So I'm gonna have to take this faceplate off really fast. I hope we have a small screwdriver so I can get back there. Not sure if we do, it's really hard to get back there. So I can tap into a little bit more power. And the way that we power these USBs is with this guy right here. It takes 12 to 24 volts and then it outputs 5 volts to dual USBs. So that'll power both of these USB ports and allow people to charge their phones. Just a little nice modern upgrade to throw in the place of what was a really, really old outlet. It was this guy right here and none of that stuff worked. All right, we got that guy installed. It's time to test the USB. So when I turn this on, it's gonna turn on the stereo and it should send power to the USB, which then should charge the camera. There we go, you can see the little indicator light. The camera is charging. It's the only USB cable I got, so proof, it's working, good. I can see from here, Kyle's getting furniture ready. All right, guys, well, it's been a hard day. Night has fallen on July 3rd. It's 10 p.m. right now. We've got the furniture pieces in place. We've got the big pieces right here, here, and here. Still got to get the tabletop back on. We've been testing lights and other things like that, well, because we need to, or else we won't be able to see. So I think what's left out here needs to be left till tomorrow morning, so we can film in the daylight. Let's go ahead and jump back inside. All right, so you can see our steps desperately need to be carpeted still. And then the main area needs to be carpeted. We've got everything cleaned, but we've got cushions coming in here. Lots and lots of cushions. Chelsea worked very, very hard to sew about like 20 plus cushions to reupholster this whole downstairs area. Now they had this weird fabric right here, and it's fallen off, and that's what their Velcro is attached to. We're gonna go ahead and peel all this fabric back off. We're gonna potentially, maybe if we need to, sand that back down. I'm not really sure if we need to. And then we can go ahead and put our own Velcro on there to hold all of the cushions in place. So we're gonna be Velcroing and attaching cushions. All right, it is the next morning. It is the 4th of July, which means we are behind schedule. We got about 4 hours until friends get here and a good deal of work left to do. I'm gonna go ahead and we've got the cushions. They're pretty dialed in. We got a little bit of Velcroing to do down there, but we're gonna get the stuff up here done before the heat hits in, because it's gonna get really hot today. So I built an adapter for the steering wheel here, so I can finally do two things. I got a smaller steering wheel because it's a little cramped for space in there, and then our old steering wheel didn't have good upholstery on it, so I got a smaller steering wheel. It also has a centering line on it that matches the exterior of the boat, which I really love. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that steering wheel installed, and then we can start cleaning this whole area out and get our windshield clean as well. All right, much more comfortable steering wheel with it being a little bit smaller there. Gives me more room to live. That's good. We got the tabletop back on. We're gonna go ahead and just start cleaning, hosing everything down from the front, working backwards. We're gonna put some vinyl cleaner on these seats because they've seen better days. And then clean and just work our way back through. Cushions will go on last. These are the cushions from last night. They are almost done. We just have to Velcro them back so they make sure they stay in place, but they're looking great. We tested them out, ate lunch just now. It's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up, vacuum this up, and then lay the padding down and the carpeting down. And then we're gonna be jumping into the stairs, and that's just stapling it, you know, kind of staple, wrap around, staple, wrap around. It's all different pieces so it can open and close for storage. Stair storage, what a novel idea. The reason we didn't do that in the other boat with the other stairs is because we have a ton of storage in all of the pontoon furniture. All right, guys, well, it's 5:45 p.m. on the 4th of July, and we're ready to get friends on board. They're all supposed to be here at 6 o'clock, so that means they'll be here at 6:30. Oh, don't know what this washer is. That's an accident. This is it. Round one of upgrades done since sinkage. First time we're having guests on the boat. Furniture's all back on, padding's on. That's all redone. Again, huge thanks to Holley for hooking us up with new screens after the sinking. I'm happy with my new steering wheel. And then as we come down, we've got carpet. All new padding for our furniture all the way around. And then as we come back here, we've got the bathroom cleaned back up, and then the bedroom is redone to almost exactly the same spec that it was before, except for now we have black on there. But I really, really love the contrast black and white. It looks killer. Now we took two big L's on the sinkage. One is just recently a new, we did test this before, and now it's not flushing the toilet. So that's a huge L that we just found out about. I'm gonna try and work with the fuses and see if we can do anything. And the other thing is obviously issues we're having with the distortion of color on the wood. We have problem there, problem there, problem there, and those are the main problems. These are the cabinets, for example, that we fixed up and repainted. Let me know in the comments what you would do, what you think, if we should paint them, repaint them. The rest of the boat, the wood looks pretty good, so it's a hard decision to make. Could also be vinyl wrapped, I'm sure. But yeah, pretty fun restoration. I'm excited to get my friends on here and see what they think. I'm gonna look for fuses on the toilet and see if I can fix anything, because that would be great. But I'm also just gonna eat some pizza, crack a beer, and enjoy the 4th of July. This boat story has been a really interesting one. I bought this boat 5 years ago, pretty much on a whim. I didn't think anybody would care, and it ended up being one of the most popular videos we've ever made with over 7 million views. The issue that I had with that is that's a video that's not very B is for buildy. It was pretty much a video of a guy going and spending money. Yes, we did a quick round of upgrades to the boat, but for the most part, it wasn't built by us. Over the next 5 years, this boat and myself were kind of struck by one tragedy after another. First we blew up the engines, then I got cancer, and then we got the boat back and it sank. But every time tragedy struck this boat, we just tried to make sure that we put the heart of B is for Build back into it, meaning showing people how we overcome adversity, showing people what we do when given the opportunity, and building it instead of buying it. I'm really, really proud of that. But I'll be honest, when this thing sank in January of this year, I really did not think there was any coming back. I started designing a new boat. That's how screwed I thought we were. I never thought this day would happen where I'd have my friends out on the 4th of July cruising up and down the river, experiencing this boat again. We've built a lot of crazy cars on this channel and done a lot of builds that people said were never possible or that we'd never get done. And this was the number one thing that I didn't think was possible. And I'm so proud that we are able to resurrect and restore this thing to its former glory. And go watch the old video and then watch this one now, and you can spot upgrades everywhere, touches that we've put on this boat and improved it in so many different ways. I looked at a calendar and this is the first time we've done the 4th of July since the first time we bought it. So 5-year span of time. This boat spent more time out of the water than it had in the water under my ownership. And I am way underwater on the boat as far as an investment standpoint. But I'm so proud of what we got done, and seeing my friends' faces light up while they enjoyed the fireworks on the front of my boat made it all 100% worth it and really made it feel like we did something special here. And it's got me insanely motivated for our custom boat build that is right around the corner. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you check out those episodes. We have 30 more days till that boat goes in the water. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great holiday. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!
Come on!